You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now. Euro 2020 is here. Well, it's actually 2021, and yet the merchandise still says 2020. So do the Panini stickers, and most likely, so will the engraving on the trophy after the final. But the tournament has still arrived, and it's still very exciting. And this is the second part of the story of how the 24 teams qualified. Portugal made hard work of qualifying. After a slow start, and with Cristiano Ronaldo chasing the Iranian striker Ali Dia's international goals world record, Portugal were neck and neck with Serbia. Ukraine had already won the group, and all Portugal needed to do was to get a point against Luxembourg to qualify in second, which they did. Ronaldo is still 6 goals away from equaling Ali Dia's record of 109 international goals. But the true last-day jeopardy was found in Dublin and Cardiff. Ireland had to beat Denmark to qualify, but could only manage a 1-1 draw. Wales, on the other hand, had to beat Hungary to leapfrog them into second place. Aaron Ramsey scored twice as they won 2-0, sending the Millennium Stadium wild. However, the iconic image from the post-match celebration was of Gareth Bale holding a Welsh flag, with Wales, Golf, Madrid in that order written on it. The flag mocked the words of former Real Madrid player Predrag Mijatovic, who had criticised Bale with those words in light of his club form. The Madrid daily sports press was less than impressed, and it wouldn't be long before Bale would be loaned back to Tottenham. There was a myriad of other fascinating stories too. The tiny micro-state of Andorra won its first ever European Championship qualification match after beating Moldova 1-0. Turkey was fined €80,000 after its players repeatedly performed military salutes during goal celebrations, and Russia narrowly avoided being excluded from the Euros after the World Anti-Doping Agency had instituted a worldwide ban for its state-sanctioned doping program. They were only allowed to compete in the Euros because WADA didn't consider UEFA a major event organiser. And Finland finally qualified for its first ever major tournament, with Norwich City's Teemu Pukki scoring 10 goals, a tally only exceeded by Aaron Zahavi, Cristiano Ronaldo and Harry Kane. After the UEFA Nations League had played out, 4 groups remained for the final 4 qualification spots. And then COVID struck, postponing the tournament for a year. At one point, it looked like it might not even happen at all. But the playoff qualifiers returned, mostly without fans. Hungary qualified thanks to 2 very late goals against Iceland that turned the tie on its head. Slovakia beat Northern Ireland. Scotland, who had lost to Kazakhstan in their first qualification match proper, beat Serbia on penalties after David Marshall saved from Alexander Mitrovic. Afterwards, Serbia sacked their coach, Ljubiša Tumbakovic, the same Tumbakovic who had started qualification as Montenegro coach, but was fired after refusing to sit in the dugout during their game against Kosovo. The most interesting playoff group, however, was Group D, where none of the teams had qualified for a major tournament before. Belarus was going through an uprising back home, Kosovo had only lost a handful of games since the end of 2017, Georgia had a history of club teams shocking the world when it was part of the Soviet Union, but had achieved little since independence. And of course, the newly named country of North Macedonia. You see, much was expected of Kosovo because of their sterling performances against England. But the COVID break proved too much. The same for Belarus. The final came down to Georgia versus North Macedonia at the Boris Paichatsi Dinamo Arena in Georgia's capital, Tbilisi, 8 months after it was due to have initially taken place. And a single goal won it. Veteran Genoa striker Goran Pandev scored early in the second half for North Macedonia. They held on and qualified for their first ever major tournament. They were the 24th and last team to make it to Euro 2020. If you like this video, please subscribe to Tifo to help us reach 1 million subscribers. The Athletic is where the Manchester United reporters revealed the truth behind the club's Jadon Sancho transfer fiasco, where the Tottenham reporters brought you news of Gareth Bale's return before anyone else, where the Chelsea reporters told us 3 days before his sacking that Frank Lampard was on the verge of losing his job. And you can try it now for free for 30 days. See the link in the description.